In terms of some of the instructional strategies that really did work for us best within our own Ontario strategy, first of all, within that framework, I would say we fostered extensive dialogue and engagement at all levels of the system with our teachers' unions, and our principals associations. That was very important for us to make sure that they were always included and a part of what we were doing. So the consensus building was an essential part of our strategy. I mentioned earlier that the class size reduction was a promise of the government, and in Ontario, what they had promised the public was that in grades 1, 2, and 3, we would have class sizes of no more than 20 to 1. That posed a problem for many of our directors of education and our trustees because they just did not have the space to bring about the class size reduction in the time frame that had been set. So people then brought forward a proposal to the minister to allow 90% of the schools to have a class size of 20 to 1, and the remaining 10% would be able to go up to 23 to 1, making it possible for them to implement what they had planned to do. Having teams and networks at all levels of the system made a significant difference for us because people were constantly learning with and from their colleagues. As we drilled down to the schools, there were a number of strategies which we felt really did help in terms of student achievement. Some of the practices including asking schools to look at how they were delivering literacy within literacy instruction and making sure that they really did have a comprehensive literacy program in every school. We zeroed in on areas like writing, considering the research that has been done on what type of writing really does improve achievement. And I mention here the work of Douglas Reeves on non-fiction writing. It's important for you to know that when non-fiction writing is focused on, as against imaginative writing or other types of writing that's done, students indeed do better, not only in their English classes and literacy programs, but also in science and math. And when those, the nonfiction writing is emphasized as well, we found that boys also were more interested in reading. And we do have a problem in Ontario with our boys not doing as well as our girls are doing. The whole issue of community engagement was very important. And within the Ministry of Education, we have a parent engagement office, we have a student engagement office, we have Aboriginal education office, and all of those areas had strategies that sort of worked with us as a secretariat to engage students and parents and teachers. Leadership development was a major issue. We found, of course, that with many of our principals, we were hiring so many principals who were in their first 3 years of leadership and giving them intensive professional development, working collaboratively with the principals' councils really made a difference in terms of raising the caliber of principals that we had to the extent that they could now supervise schools, do walkabouts, and ensure that the schools were really working on the strategies that made